At dinner, my mother chuckled and said, "You're not as generous as your sister." People around the table nodded as if it were fact, but what they didn't know was I'd been quietly underwriting their lives for months. So I stood up and said, "Check the math." And right there, everything changed. If you've ever been judged unfairly by your family or had your generosity ignored, hit like and subscribe. Tonight's story is about how I turned silence into my greatest comeback. Without drama, just truth. Growing up, my sister always had the spotlight. She got praised for every small thing: good grades, big gifts, flashy gestures. Me, I worked behind the scenes, late nights running freelance projects, picking up side jobs, saving for a rainy day. I rarely boasted. When I moved out and started my career, I did well. Not overly flashy, but stable. I sent small checks to help my parents with bills. I took care of repairs, taxes, things no one else noticed. I never told them. Because generosity to me was silent, not grandstanding. Then came that dinner. My sister's kids were visiting, and my parents insisted we all go out. The mood was warm, forks clinking, laughter in the air. Halfway through the main course, Mom leaned forward with a smile. "You know, we've been talking," she said. "We feel you could show more generosity. Your sister always gives. We wish you would too." Her voice was light, but the weight of it hit me hard. She wasn't asking. She was comparing. My sister nodded, smiling as if that gave her moral high ground. My father gave me a sympathetic look that read, "Do better." I felt flush and cold at once. My throat tightened. I forced a laugh and said, "I'll try." But inside, I was seething, because I already had tried, in ways they never noticed. Over the next few weeks, I revisited my accounts. I pulled up old bank statements and receipts. I found that I had been sending support to my parents monthly, paying for plumbing repairs, utility surcharges, their unexpected car bills. That grocery bill they couldn't cover last summer, I paid it. That year-end property tax, I cleared it. Meanwhile, my sister's generosity was always visible. Vacation photos, charity events, big gifts to her friends, social media declarations. She flashed what I gave in quiet. She displayed what she bought. I began to see how the world around me preferred the showy generosity over the real kind. One evening, I watched them wind down. My mom told my sister, "You are so giving. That's something I admire." And I sat there, arms crossed, letting their praise roll. When we planned a vacation, my sister got help with her travel expenses, an early gift from Mom. I offered to cover mine myself, quietly. No one looked impressed, so inside I resolved, if they want to see generosity, I'll show them, but on my terms. A month later, we had another dinner with extended family. The same restaurant, the same forks and wine glasses. Just before dessert, I cleared my throat. "Before you enjoy dessert, I'd like us to revisit something my mom said last month." Heads turned. "You said I wasn't as generous as my sister," I continued, voice firm. "That's a comparison I've replayed many times." I asked the server to bring out a tablet, one I had already loaded with charts and numbers. I'd prepared it in the car. I projected my family expenses and contributions, line by line, utility bills I'd paid, repairs. I'd arranged medical supplements they weren't sure how to pay, monthly transfers disguised as gifts from me to them. Then I flashed a contrasting line. The visible gifts my sister gave, charity events, gadgets, vacations, silence. Eyes flicked around the table. My mother's jaw dropped. My sister's face turned from smug to pale. "So," I said quietly, "when you say I'm not generous, what exactly do you want me to do? Parade my kindness for applause? Or keep helping when no one notices?" I closed the presentation and stood. I've supported this family not for praise, but because it needed doing. If generosity is measured by display, that's your right. But don't mistake visibility for virtue. Then I walked out before they could respond. In the days that followed, the family group chat lit up. My sister wrote, "Why make a scene?" My mom texted, "You heard us, we never meant to compare." Dad tried to mediate. I answered only one message. "Check the math next time. Kindness doesn't need applause." I didn't ask them to understand. I just made sure they would. Within a week, my parents asked me to resume helping with their tax filings. They acknowledged they'd been struggling more than they said. My sister? She posted a photo of a small, modest donation, thinly disguised attempt to salvage her own image. But the real change came quietly. At the next holiday, there were no comments about generosity, no comparing. They thanked me for fixing a heater, scheduling a technician, things they had always taken for granted. And I walked in with my head high. Sometimes your loudest voice is the one you never raise. You don't need to outshine anyone. You just need the courage to let truth speak. When people accuse you, let your actions and your integrity be the answer. If you've ever been dismissed or compared unfairly, you're not alone. Hit that like button if this story resonated. Subscribe for more moments where quiet strength flips the script. And tell me, when was a moment you proved someone wrong with your actions? Share it below.